move on, let's talk about Simon Guobadia, who's speaking out about Miss Porsha. Damn, I wish I would have had the video where he was talking about. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Probably not, because you know the neighborhood told you I will post like 85 goddamn topics before I can even find what I'm looking for. Huh. Hold on. I've seen some of the looks. Well, speaking of which, I've seen some of the looks on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I was like, no, I'm not here for it. You want to know something? I ain't got time to be looking for this, so never mind. I'm gonna just have to read y'all what he said. So yeah, so Simon Guobadia, who y'all know has been detained by ICE for a long time. I think he's been released since then. But recently he did an interview and he was talking about how, you know, after everything that happened between him and Porsha, that he regrets tying the knot with her. Which I'm like, I don't know why you surprised, because was telling you that Porsha is somebody who was looking for a moment. She was looking to get with an African, probably because she saw Shamia, her best friend, sort of, because I guess they're not getting along because Shamia is now on the Housewives. And like Teresa Giudice with the Housewives of New Jersey, that's her thing. She don't want other people jumping on her thing because she wants the fame, she wants all the other stuff, and she don't want to share. So, nevertheless, they said Guobadia, who's 61, believes he was targeted for financial reasons by the Real Housewives of Atlanta star who's 44. He said, quote, I kept asking, why did you file for a divorce? And she wouldn't say anything. This is what Guobadia told. I think he spoke with Page 6, claiming he could not get in touch with her family either. He said, this felt like a coup. I was totally blindsided, which he laments, which Williams recently predicted he would feel. After Guobadia was unsuccessful with reaching any of Williams' loved ones, he admits he sent her a scathing text message that read, this was a $5 million rehab project that I took on. Williams filed for divorce in February 2024 after 14 months of marriage. She told people earlier this week that she had hired an immigration attorney in January 2024 after uncovering complex issues with Guobadia's legal issues, noting that she felt the relationship was heading down a dark road. She said the two had a confrontation on Valentine's Day and that she filed for divorce just over a week later, saying, quote, she never shared her concerns or issues with me before filing for divorce. If you're married, you discuss issues and say, hey, if this does not change or something does not happen, this might come of it. Guobadia, who was deported to Nigeria earlier. Oh, so he was deported. Because I was like, where he at? So apparently he back home in Nigeria. They said earlier this month, because of immigration violations, including bank and credit card fraud, tells Page 6, noting they never had these discussions. So I think what it was, because you already know, Porsha mother has always kind of positioned Porsha to kind of be that girl. Go out and get you a rich man. Go get you a man that can take care of you and all sort of stuff. You know, there'd be a lot of them Southern women that really be pushing their daughters to latch on to somebody that can keep them financially secure. Back when she was with Cordell and to now when she's with, when she had the baby with Dennis. And when she says that Dennis has stepped up since the whole Simon situation and has been doing his thing. But I'm like, he should be doing it. He's the father of Pilar, their daughter. So why wouldn't he be stepping up as a dad? That's his duty. But with the whole Simon thing, we've been knew from the beginning. Well, I'll say me. I've been knew from the beginning that was not real love that you got with him, because you knew there was going to be some financial security. And some people are going to sit up and say because he was with Fallon at the time and then Porsha overshot. But we wasn't really friends, though. We wasn't friends. We wasn't girlfriends. We wasn't close friends like that and stuff. So she went pushed up on that man, probably because she saw all the things that he had and was like, oh, I'm going to throw this puss on that man and he going to love on this puss. We going to brainwash and blindside him with this puss. And he got caught up in it. Because when you're looking at somebody like Simon, who was looking a mess, and no shade, but I do think that Porsha did clean him up and upgrade him. She got him new teeth. She got him on a diet. She got him looking a little halfway decent. But we're not going to sit up here and try to act like that she ain't have a goal. And that goal was she thought that she hit a gold mine. Come to find out, in the words of Carly Red, It was all a lie. This man was out here committing white-collar crimes. He even snuck back in the country after he was deported the first time. I think this was in like the late 80s, early 90s. And he's been kind of living here covert for decades, still committing his little white-collar crimes with the fraud and all this other as was mentioned in the story. So now all of a sudden, because all this stuff started coming out, now their relationship is heading down a dark road, and she got to clear her conscience and not get caught up in the stuff. So that's why she filed for divorce. Porsha, we see through the BS. We see through what you're doing. I mean, I like Porsha, but girl, let's not sit up here and try to act like we can't see through the mess and the stunts and shows. So he also added, he said, I think I was targeted. I was targeted from day one for financial reasons. When I filed for divorce with my previous ex-wife, Fallon Guobadia Williams, who was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta for like 5 seconds, was in my DM praying for me. I think I was in a vulnerable position at that time, and I entertained it. So it just kind of snowballed from there. Getting engaged in 30 days, who does that? I was out of my goddamn mind to have done that. Of course, I'm paying dearly for it. And so, of course, it was all a plan, and you fell for it. So we're gonna call Porsha out. We're gonna call you out too. You and saying that you was in your most vulnerable of times because you and Fallon was going through it. Porsha saw a moment. She saw an in. She slithered herself in that in via the DM, and because she showed you some fake concern or whatever, you fell for it. So less than a week after going from a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that would be ICE, detention facility, where Simon spent a nightmare 4 months to his homeland, the judge overseeing his divorce from Williams finalized the dissolution of their marriage. Williams emerged victorious as the judge ruled in favor of upholding the terms of the former couple's prenuptial agreement. Simon, they're saying according to them, Porsha receives $40,000 a month in alimony for the length of the marriage, which was 14 months. Simon tells us of the $560,000 total. So that's almost like a little over $500,000, which don't seem like it's going to be a lot. But sis, you better try to save up that money. You better match that with your Real Housewives of Atlanta coin and make something of it. They said she also gets to stay in the marital house in Atlanta, all expenses paid, including the mortgage for up to 36 months. And if she chooses to own the home, she would have to refinance the property in her name and give me 50% equity in the home. So she could basically stay in the house for 3 years. And then after that, she's got to decide whether or not she wants to keep the place, and she would have to refinance it. And he would have to give 50% equity, which means he would have to give everything to her. She would and she would have to pay that half, and then she'd have to take over that house. I don't think she's going to be able to afford something like that. So I do think that she's just going to sit up in there and luxuriate in that house for the 3 years. And when that time is up, sis, don't end up like Kim Zolciak, where y'all going to have to get put out by the marshals. Make sure that when you do, you downsize, you get yourself a cute little house. You don't need to live beyond your means. That's the problem with a lot of you housewives girls. Y'all want to go out here and try to live like y'all Princess Di, or like that castle Cardi B was showing that Stefan Diggs pretty much rented out for her when they was overseas. I don't know if it was Italy or Paris or whatever the case was, but yeah, Cardi spent a little time. Stefan Diggs rented out a castle and had Cardi up in there, and Offset was upset when he saw that. So do the 3 years up in the house, let Housewives of Atlanta do their thing. That's Lord willing if the show comes back, because this season been so damn dry that I don't know how long that they're going to keep Real Housewives of Atlanta going with this cast. So if you can, just stick with the 3 years up in there, and then when it comes down to the wire, a couple of months before that lease is about to be up, and that free ride is almost up, is what I should say, then you go and you start to look for a new house. Maybe that could be a storyline, but that's not really a storyline. That'd be like something that lasts like a 10-minute episode, a 10-minute scene in an episode. So then they said, as his reaction to the ruling, Simon, who has been married 3 times. Damn, you've been married 3 times before. Maybe you need to stop getting married. Says with 1,000% certainty that the decision is going to be appealed. He elaborates. He says, it's basically what I've held from day one about this case when I realized that I was targeted. I've had prenups in previous relationships, and I've honored those prenups without reservation. This time around, I've chosen a challenge in court to all the way to the Supreme Court if I have to. Now, though the execs did not have children together, two of Simon's sons and William's only daughter lived with them for part of the time. Williams told people the divorce was particularly difficult for Pilar PJ Jenna, 16. 16, she's 6. But Simon downplays their rapport when the topic comes up during the interview with Page 6. He said, I don't have a relationship with her daughter. Simon asserts, explaining that he chooses to not get close to his romantic partner's kids because there's a tendency for them to use their children to get back at him to try to come back into his life, and Porsha is no exception. Simon confirms Williams sent him a text a few months into the divorce to say that PJ missed him. He also confirms he did not respond. There was a concerned effort at some point that she realized she had made a mistake and wanted to reconcile. At that point, I was done. Now, during the divorce proceedings, Williams revealed she had paid child support for Simon. She paid child support for Simon while he was in ICE custody and unable to access his funds. But you paid child support for Simon, meaning what? With his kids that was living up in the house? Like, how old are they? That's what I would want to know. Now, scoffing at the gesture, Simon tells us he wishes his son's mother would not have accepted the money. Williams sent her two $2,500 payments in 1 month, and that was it. That didn't even necessarily cover anything, he says, adding, in my opinion, it was not done in good faith. It was done to give a narrative in court or to the public that I paid some of his child support. In response to all of Simon's claims, a source tells Page 6, Porsha has moved on and wished Simon the best. So, yeah, I would not put nothing past her doing these little shenanigans, stunt shows, or whatever you want to call it. And Simon, you're not that innocent in this either. But, child, quiet as it's kept, this should have been a good damn storyline over in the Housewives of Atlanta because everything else going over there, y'all are not that damn entertaining. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Because I'm sure there'll be more to it down the road. And if there's any more that pertains to Simon coming out here reading Porsha down to the floor, and I wonder if I wonder if they brought this up at the reunion, but they already shot the reunion. So I don't even know if this will probably come up unless they start showing a trailer, and then we'll know what entails in the upcoming reunion, which I don't care about because I didn't even watch this damn season. So I don't even care what the hell y'all talk about over there, especially because Britt Edie is not even going to be on the thing, her or Kenya. So why would y'all even want to watch the reunion? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.